Guys, something mysterious happened in Edo State yesterday, the 20th of December 2025 in Ekpoma community, and it was recorded live on TikTok. A family who was preparing for the burial of their loved one, canopies mounted, magazine printed, food, drinks, the venue was set, church service on standby. The only thing that was left was for the family to go and bring the body of the man they were burying, a 68-year-old man by the name of Mr. Gabriel in Negbeniki. While everyone was waiting at the church and at the reception, the family set for the mortuary to retrieve the body. In Faith Dome Medical Center in Itama Street, close to Ali Hall in Ekpoma, the family go to the mortuary attendant who have been told beforehand that they were coming to retrieve this body for burial. And so he had prepared the body. When the family came, the mortuary attendant gives the family the body. And when they opened the casket, who they saw in it was not Mr. Gabriel. They immediately alerted the mortuary attendant, the mortician. They tell him that, oh, sorry, sir, this is not my dad. This is not my brother. This is not my uncle. We don't know who this is, but this is not Mr. Gabriel Inegbeniki. And instead of the mortuary attendant to cross-check and basically know what he had done, he immediately begins to argue with the family, telling them that, no, you guys are wrong. This is your father. This is your brother. This is your loved one. This is Mr. Gabriel Inegbeniki. This is who you guys brought to our mortuary. So this is him. And they are confused. They are like, are you really okay? The family is telling you that this is not their loved one, and you are telling them that it's their loved one. And this is where chaos ensued. From here onwards, it became a disaster. Now, put in mind that this story was shared on TikTok Live by a TikTok user named Lash by Favy. She is the niece of the deceased man. The man being buried was her uncle. And according to her and her father had come a week prior to this day, the burial day, to inspect the body, to visit the body. This is what family usually do. If you have a loved one in the mortuary, weeks or days before the burial, family members usually go to see the body. So Favy says that she and her dad had gone one time a week before to, inform the man of the date and let him know that the burial was coming close, and also take the bill of how much they were supposed to pay. But on getting there, they didn't see the mortuary attendant, and he came very late. And by the time he came, he refused to open the mortuary to show them their uncle, to show her father, his brother, telling them that, yeah, we don't open the mortuary at night. And so Mr. Gabriel's brother and daughter left. Few days to the burial, Favy's father, as well as one of the child of the deceased man, come to the mortuary to pay the fees that they were owing, and also let the mortuary attendant know the day is drawing close. And of course, they were going to observe the body to be sure, that it was intact. Luckily for them, it's not late and the mortuary attendant was around. And this man brings out the casket and shows them the body. And they tell him that that is not Mr. Gabriel. This is about 2-3 days before the burial. Few days to the burial, they tell the mortuary attendant that this is not my dad. This is not my brother. Oh, please, this is not it. And even then, they say the mortuary attendant, who is aggressive and combative, tells them that it is. And then they ask for a tag, and the man says the tag was missing. Number one red flag. So where is the tag? Why is the tag not here? Because the man was tagged. They registered him on a logbook. So he is attached to a number, and the body you gave to them or you showed to them did not have a tag. So in this moment, the mortuary attendant tries to, assures them that he's going to rectify it, basically. However, Favy's father, who is the brother to the deceased, refused to leave the mortuary and requested to see the body. And the mortuary attendant was like, sir, we've told you that we're going to rectify it. Go home. The man says he's not going to leave until he sees his brother. And the mortuary attendant angrily left the mortuary and even attempted to lock this man inside the mortuary. And saying that Favy's dad is a pastor, he basically avoided the trouble, the chaos, and left, hoping that they would rectify it on the day of the burial. But what do we have? On that day of the burial, nothing was still done. And that was the moment the Lash by Favy, turned on a camera to go live and let everyone know what was going on. Over 3,000 people were on that live video, including me. While they were trying to understand what was going on, they asked for the logbook. And the logbook suddenly disappeared. The man showed them a logbook that ended in July, whereas the body was deposited on the 19th of November 2025. So it's barely a month that the body had been in that mortuary. This is even a very short time, if you ask me. Between the 19th of November and the 20th of December, a month and a day basically. And somehow, a body is missing. And the logbook and the tag is also missing, which is ironic because according to her, the man suddenly brings out a tag from nowhere that had the number. And this was the same tag that he told the father and the brother when they had come days before that it was missing. Suddenly the tag has appeared, but that was not the body. And then the logbook he presents is not the logbook that the family wrote the man's name in. They remembered the book because it wasn't long ago. And even when they looked at the book, they realized that something was missing. They were trying to play some kind of tricks. But this is the thing. This is the part of the story that I think I found very confusing. When I reached out to Favy, she mentioned that some people at the mortuary who saw the corpse said that it was Mr. Gabriel. And this is the part that I was like, wait, what? There were people there that indeed claimed that the body was that of Mr. Gabriel. And I wanted to know who those people were, if they were family or if they were friends or if they were just people who saw the poster and then looked at the face and assumed it's the same person. However, the immediate family, both brother and both children and both nephews and nieces, said that that was not their loved one, that was not their uncle. And I think that is all it needs. I don't know who would know somebody more than the family. Even if the brother is not sure, the children would know. If the children are not so sure who their father looked like, I'm sure the brother would know. And they're all saying the same thing. But this is the thing here. I still don't know who were those people who said that the man looked like Mr. Gabriel. I don't know who those people were, if they were family or if they were just random people. Naturally, when somebody passes on, their body changes. Somebody who is light-skinned when they were alive, 1 month after death, they still wouldn't be light-skinned. If they were embalmed in a mortuary, the embalming process would change a lot of things on their body, their face, their skin color. They will look way more different than they looked when they are alive. And most times that usually can be tricky. And that is why it's important for loved ones to go to the mortuary from time to time to see the process of changes. When you drop a loved one in the mortuary and then come back 3 months later, you may not recognize them as much as you think. But there is a thing, this was just 1 month apart, and this family is not even new to a funeral. According to her, they had used this mortuary to bury her grandmother, which, by the way, there still was drama at the time when they buried the grandmother. We'll come to that briefly, because when it comes to the case of Mr. Gabriel, they had a way of identifying him. The family was like, okay, if you are saying he's him and we're telling you he's not, he had a finger that was chopped off at a very young age. Part of his hand is not complete. He had a chopped finger. They went to the body that was presented to them. They took out the glove and they checked the hands of the deceased person and saw that the person's hand was fully intact. And that is how they knew that that was not Mr. Gabriel, because Mr. Gabriel had a chopped finger. So let's assume the body changed and let's assume the morticians used excessive makeup, but that part of the body, is not something they could probably fix it, but it's something that if it's not part of the body, it's not part of the body. And that was how they knew. And even aside that, why would you want to argue with a family member who is telling you that that is not their loved one? That's the part I don't understand. Why exactly would you, a mortician, be arguing with family members telling them that they are the ones lying about who their loved one is for a burial that they've planned, a burial that is ongoing. People are waiting in the church. Pastor, reverend fathers are waiting. Friends and people who have traveled far and wide are waiting. Canopies set, food set, music, and you are here thinking that they would rather argue with you. It does not even make sense. Like, what? After concluding that the hands indicated that that is not their loved one, they decided to check all the other bodies in the mortuary to see if he had made a mistake. And according to her, there were over 100 bodies that the family members had to go through. And none of them was Mr. Gabriel. None of them was their loved one. And the police was immediately involved. The man was, carried to the station, and they had to go to his house to search for the body, to see if he had done something with the body. They even had to search his backyard. And they said that the man is so rude and so pompous and so, loud that he even started laughing when they were searching his house, laughing with a smug face, it was so ridiculous that they even had to slap him. The police had to slap him to let him know, this is a serious matter, Mr. Man. This is a serious matter, and you're laughing. As at the time of making this video, they are still searching for the body of Mr. Gabriel. They are still searching for their father. She's still searching for her uncle. They're still searching for their loved one. Right now, they are hoping or thinking that within the time the body was brought to the mortuary, somebody had come to take a loved one for burial. And they are hoping that there may have been a mix-up in the bodies. There is that chance that a family member had taken the wrong body for burial. If some people can mistake him for Mr. Gabriel, then what are the chances that another family did not mistake Mr. Gabriel to be their own, only for them to take him and go and bury somebody that wasn't theirs? And I think that is what the family are looking at. I feel like that is their only option as at this point. They kind of have to now go and ask other family members who had recently had a burial in that community to see if for some reason they buried the wrong person. And I don't think it will be so difficult because it's just a month difference. So I know most funerals happen every Saturday, I would assume. So they've been 4 Saturdays. So they are most likely going to be looking at 4 possible people who may have taken body from that mortuary. And hopefully in time, somebody's grave will be dug out to be sure if at all they did not bury the wrong person. And about the lady's grandmother, she mentioned in the live video when I was watching it, she said that, they used the funeral home before, that's the mortuary, before to bury their grandmother, and they didn't experience this. However, when we spoke, she said that when she spoke to her mom, the mom corrected her and told her that the same thing happened to them during their grandmother's burial. That when they went to get the body, they misplaced the body. They gave them the wrong body at first. But luckily for them, when they searched the mortuary, they found their grandmother because she was the oldest. She's 100 and something. So they knew her because she should be the oldest body there. So, however, the mother of the lady who posted the story on TikTok told her that same mortuary misplaced her grandmother's body at the time of her burial, but it was somewhere in the morgue and they found it later on. So which means that this is not the first time this mortuary is being careless about somebody's deceased loved one. And I think if that has happened in the past, then there is that chance that it's happening again. This is just horrifying. I don't know if there's a legal consequences to it. I don't know if the mortuary should be sued, punished. I don't know. Somebody got to be punished for this. A whole funeral that would cost millions had to be cancelled. And for them to want to do this again, it will cost another round of money. I don't know what is going to happen now. Are they going to have to replan the burial, book the event space, get the pastor, cook the food again, get the canopy, get the music? It's a lot. Naturally, I would suggest that in such a situation, every ceremonial, celebratory thing should be done as regards food, drinks, and everything. So if when they find the body, it will just be to bury and pray so that the family don't go through this financial stress. I'm not going to say this out loud, but I will say it. As someone who has buried a loved one, I hate Nigerian funeral culture. Maybe it's just my tribe, but I did. One of the worst days of my life was having to bury a loved one. I hate it. It's a terrible, even minus the finances you have to go through. Like, you spend so much for a funeral. Millions we're talking here. Millions. And then you are stressed on top of it. Especially the children of the man. I just worry. I feel bad for them. This is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. Like, it's too much to handle. I cannot, I'm just trying to put myself in that shoe. I would have just broke down and just keep crying, because what would I do? Where will I start from? Who do you want to, even if you beat the mortician, where would he vomit the body? Because the mortician clearly doesn't even know what's going on. And they've misplaced the body. Like, it's such a terrible situation to be, that when I think about it and reflect on my own personal experience with funerals and burying a loved one, I feel terrible for them. This is a nightmare. If this had happened to me, I would have run mad, because it's crazy. There is a whole money gone, millions gone. Everybody had to eat food. They had to give people the food. People had to drink the drinks, because the food will spoil, because they can't find the body. They had to do so many things. If they find the body, and then would they have to go back to square one and redo all of this, recook again, rebook? If it's me, I was just bury my dad. Like, we tried, because there is no way you're gonna put the financial burden on them. And the family, that's the thing. I don't know if I believe the families will not even be understanding. They want them to redo all of this again. I just pray that's not the case, honestly. But another thing again I would have thought was, if the family had, because they had seen this earlier, and I think that is a slight miscalculation. And I also believe Favy's dad was onto it. He saw through it. The lady who told the story, the father may have seen through this. But when you see through something is one thing, but to be able to contain it and make it is also is another thing. It's like seeing the future, but how do you stop it? How do you stop the future? When they tell you that, oh, this is going to happen, and rain is going to cause a big flood, what do you do? There's not much you can do. Because the part where he refused to leave the funeral, the mortuary at the time, so that the man will show the body in that moment, so the man will go and get the actual body, that would have been a very good time. Days before the funeral, they had known. The funeral man had already given them a wrong body, and they've told him. If they had done all those fights that day, maybe they would have had enough time to not cook for the burial, not purchase the drink, skip some, like save some money or tell some things to hold on and let everybody know that the burial can't continue on that date because they are looking for the body. The fact, and I think the mistake they made was, despite knowing that the mortuary itself had not yet given them the body days before the burial, and relying that the man is going to rectify it on the day of the burial, despite all of that, it was me, days before the funeral, the body they give me is not my loved one, and they did not provide my loved one before I left that mortuary. The burial will be cancelled. I'm making calls. I'm like, okay guys, please, I just got to the mortuary now, and the mortician is not showing us, this is not the body. Call the chef, please hold on, don't cook. Call the musician, sorry guys, you guys would have to wait. Hold on, please, everyone hold on. Call everyone to just call all the departments to hold on. Call the church to let them know that something has happened. We've not found the body. Until we find the body, the date of the burial, we are not so sure of it. So you guys would have to wait. And I think that's what I would have done. But the family still went on with the funeral plans, hoping that the actual mortician would rectify it. Because I don't think this is something that they imagined would happen. So I guess that was their biggest error. That was a big mistake they made, to go on with the funeral plans despite the fact that days before they didn't see the body. That was the error. That was the biggest error I think they made, and it's going to cost them. I wished Favi's the dad of the young lady who told the story really stood his ground, because I knew the fact that he did not want to leave the mortuary until his brother's body was shown to him kind of indicated that he knew this was going to come. But the crazy mortician was fighting. He was aggressive. He wasn't sensible. He wasn't wise. That would have been his opportunity to start making arrangements and start looking for the body. And if it's a mistake, admit to it and let the family know, and let them not waste money for a burial, and let everybody be where they are and hold on a bit. But he was talking about we'll rectify it. That's and they hoped on him, and on the day he still messed up. I hate people like that. Like, I don't like people like that. Don't do that. Another thing again is that some people are suggesting he may have sold the body or done something with the body. I can't put that past him. You know, at this day and age, people are doing things, so I won't be surprised if they have actually done something with the body. But I shall believe, I don't think that would be the case. Personally, I feel that somebody else had buried the wrong person. And that is mainly because of the confusion. The fact that some people saw this body and said that it was Mr. Gabriel, it means that whoever had been taken, or the loved one of the actual person that is dead, that is not Mr. Gabriel, had seen Mr. Gabriel's body and also thought it was theirs. So if that is a thing, if indeed some people saw this body that was not Mr. Gabriel and said it was him, then some people may have seen Mr. Gabriel and thought it was theirs. That is, for that reason, I would think somebody had buried the wrong body. That's what I would see from here. But I won't put anything past these people. So I won't put it. This is just a nightmare. This is a nightmare. Ooh. We'll be following the story. We will be following the story. So stay subscribed, stay following this page.